You must understand what your strength truly. If you say, I am a hardworking, what is hardworking for you? Hardworking is one that you are ready to take the challenge in the work. Please come. You can sit down here. Okay? So you must develop each of your strengths very carefully. I can also tell you there is an ethical point here. We as a living human being who are a part of a system, when parents ask you, are you reading? You will say, हाँ जी, I am doing. You will say, are you working hard? You will say, yes sir. You must be honest to you. If within you know that you are not studying, but you told your teachers and the parents that you are studying. The books are in front of you, but you are dreaming. The moment your dream starts, close the book. Go away from the desk. Sometimes you have romantic dreams, sometimes you have horrifying dreams. And at this age, more of the romantic dreams. It will happen, normal process. So 3 years you have to overcome them. I am not saying become saints, but you can become a yogi. Yogi is one with the foresightedness, work doggedly towards that, achieving that objective. Your objective is to qualify civil service. But I have already told you, mind you that civil service is not the end of life. Can it be end of life? If you are not selected after 6th attempt, what will you do? You will not kill yourself. You must therefore be open. If not after the first attempt, definitely after the second attempt. Look at in you. Is it good that I continue? Not that you continued and became failure, what the people will say. Forget it. You must assess yourself properly. There are stages. First year is not the stage, but second year failure is a stage. And third year is the time when you decide what to do. Don't get into the category where after 8-9 attempts you come to a point where what to do. This is the worst of career planning. And therefore the challenge in civil service. Most of the people who are professional studies, they go back to their profession. If you are a computer engineer, you will go to your job. If you are any engineer, you will go. You are a lawyer, go. But those who are in normal studies, what do they do? There are 3, 4, 5 routes available. Nothing to worry, no belittling. Firstly, think, if you are not selected in 3 attempts, the pressure will build so much that you will reach 30, 32. Because your energy comes down, social pressure keep on building, and new younger people keep coming. And each day, the knowledge keep on changing. The history also remain differently. Maybe in one time history has been this topic in asked, next time something else would be asked. What is happening in the society will also impact the exam. General studies question can be. Till other time Chandrayaan was not there, but there will be a question on Chandrayaan. So, as you grow in number of years, you tend to believe that you are benefited, you are not. Your competition is more younger and of newer areas. So, it is not actually a complete repeat. And your pressure on you. So, my request to you and your mentors would be, please look at very carefully when you completed 2 years. And between 2 and 3, if you do lots of mock tests, and if you come in the category of 75% of your own assessment, not by any of the assessment, you take your attempt. Otherwise, the chances are almost zero. So for all bright young people, age group of 21, you reach 25, There's the time, now you decide, it's enough. Even if you become 28, 29, 30. 32 is maximum for general category. You will become joint secretary only. Secretary to banenge nahi. So you don't reach the peak. What is that you are looking for? And if you don't become an IAS, you become only, say, not even custom excise, you become postal department. Your being a lecturer would have been much better than there. You do a good PhD. You look at alternative arrangement. Maybe look at new entrepreneurship. So that's the time. 25 is an age when you are peak of your energy. Maturity has come. You have seen the challenge. So I would urge each of you, when you are ready for the third attempt, you should be clear how far will you go. State Public Service Commissions are one of the options. They are not bad options. None of the options available beyond civil service is a bad option. I have an example before you. I am not a IAS, became chairman. To become a professor in IIT is more difficult. When getting into BTech is so difficult, you can imagine becoming faculty, how difficult. And continue to rise. So when you are starting life at 32 or 36, if you are in OBC category, you start your life as 36. When I became a professor, full professor, you have lost 15 years already. So why do you take up that route where your years are lost? Please understand. Take another route, and equally important route is available. Each of you have got a very hidden talent in you. In this preparation of 3 years would allow you to understand yourself. Can you really work hard? Can you really assimilate? Can you convince people by your presentation? So all this you would know. You are more mature than you were at 21. You can plan your career better. You start understanding the social pressure. So please take a pause when you are in the third attempt. And there's nothing wrong. I tell you there's nothing wrong. People might say you're not successful. It doesn't matter. How does it matter? In any case, if you are not selected, we select out the 6 lakh, only 1,000. 200 IAS, 200 IPS, and about 100 class B. Why don't you become a state class 1? Why don't you become a lecturer in the university, which is class 1? Today, university professorship, you start as a lecturer with a PhD. You become professor in 10 years, which is the salary of the joint secretary, which he never gets even in IAS. So there are so many alternatives available. Your attempts must be very serious. They must not waste your life. Definitely each of you must do state service. Even if you are selected, within 7, 8, 9 years you become class 1. That route is there, everybody knows this. 1/3 of every year, IAS from each state service become IAS. It's a good number. Every year 12, your quota of number of seats in IAS would be 8. You are now a small state. Am I right? You are not a big state like. So now there must be 6 seats. How many seats are there? 6 to 8. If you come to state service, 1/3 will be about the same number. So use your time properly, plan better, work hard. So far clear? Any questions? Then I go to the next stage. Any questions from anybody? How many are demotivated now? I didn't want to demotivate you, but knowing truth is always good. Somebody should not say, nobody told us it was so treacherous. So I'm now telling you it's so difficult. Difficult because you're not trained at all. Now compare some people who are coming to engineering. All these engineering boys and girls have gone through one competitive exam. You are aware of it? Even their study methods are different. They have to study to satisfy industry. And that's why currently people say it's because of me, but the fact is that they are better trained, they are successful. And they don't take engineering. They are taking same history, same geography, same political science, do better than MA students. That means it is an approach, the method by which you prepare. So the next question, how do you prepare? How do you prepare? You have to draw a line. How to prepare? You have to have a calendar. You have to finish those things reading. Not in the classroom. I am talking about your own time. Classroom learning is only preparing you to learn faster. If you are learning yourself, you would require material from anywhere. So you will spend time to search it out. What your colleagues do, your training school, they allow you the material available to you. And they also deliver in the class. Because many of you have not taken those subjects in your graduation. If, for example, you were a BA history student, in what they teach here, it will be same syllabus. Any history student here? You also attend classes here? Anybody who attend class of this subject? What subject you teach here, sir? Anybody political science student? Graduation? You also study here. Is it different? Do you find syllabus to be different? So that means what you study then, you've forgotten. So time you spend is like again in the class. While with their help, you would have only preparing yourself. Civil services, self-learning. And they require to give you material, the techniques and the tools to do it faster and better. The difficulty is that all engineers also want to do political science. For them, teaching is required. But those who are in political science, it's the same syllabus. Then you use their time to improve those gaps which they were. So you are not identifying the gaps, your weak areas, and seek remedy of that from them. Probably you have one session with them to identify their weaknesses, because many a time it is the weakness which keep on bothering you. You are solving a problem and you suddenly can't solve further. You at that point of time want somebody's assistance so that you solve. So that gap is there. So in your learning process, identify gaps in your learning and quickly get the solution. Don't wait too long. If today you are solving problem, you find difficulties, you have made your best effort, first make best effort. If doesn't happen, talk to your friend. If he is good, otherwise go to your tutor. If you don't do that, you have actually delayed it. So those candidates who can identify their gaps and weaknesses and seek remedy from the learning groups, they are the most successful. Otherwise, class is same. If you find that this answer by your thinking is not coming, go and talk to them. Maybe in the class raise that question. How many questions you raise in the class is a measure of your understanding, in your desire to learn. One of the failure of Indian university education is students don't ask questions, teachers don't encourage them. In the world today, nobody teaches the subject. Are you aware of this? A new word has come called flipped class. Flipped class is one which is like for you. All material is available with you. That I am going to teach you in this subject, in this hour, this material is with you. 1 week in advance. all of you come prepared after reading it. And only ask questions so that any doubts and gaps remained can be quickly settled. If he repeats the same text, it doesn't help. So those candidates who are in civil service, all kinds of questions should come to their minds. Not for prelim, for the main, even for the timetable, the activity. Raise questions, and get solution quickly. And then you would know that your learning become better. Other point is written methods. In the exam you have to write. At least the main. Prelim you have to tick. I'll come back to that. In the main examination you have to write. UPSC is a central body. So nobody knows you come from Hyderabad or your identity is hidden. Examiner will also be one of the best in the country. He has to be a professor. So it's not required that you use Swania. It could be any other university. But doesn't debar Swania. We had a lot of experts from Swania and other places. Now, what is the best communication in writing? When you are the writer and you are also an examiner. So write and answer yourself and read it. Have you done it? And grade it. Give marks. How many have done this practice? If you do this practice, you would be within 80 to 90% correctness. Now what is involved in this? Let me explain. You write something, you think you have written the best. But the way you wrote, examiner is going to read many of them. He must understand what you have written. So first requirement is, he should be able to understand what you want to tell him. If I am speaking to you, if I can't influence some of you, then it's useless. So linking your writing with his thought is an essential requirement. That means you must write legibly so that he can read. Imagine his difficulty. Each of your handwriting is different. Your style is different. Some of you make mistakes in grammar. Look at the teacher who is now checking copies. Do it sometime. He writes and you check. She writes and you check. Then you realize. Sometimes you keep on asking how the examiners do. It is simple. He is such a difficult task. These are not his students. In the university exam, they are his students. Some of you know, even recognize handwriting. But here everybody is different. They come from different state. They use different language. In terms of even writing English, they write differently. So, read clearly, read legibly, read in simple language, in which he can directly understand. There is no need to have a long sentence. Longer the sentence, more syntax will come, and more confusion will come. So if you can express your views, so when you can write simple sentence, when you understand the subject, and you can prioritize that this point is the best, write that point first. So that he knows, the boy or a girl knows what he is going to say. If you start something from the bottom and come to the peak point, the last, you'll have more time. So his strategy is simple. Write simple, short sentences, clearly, best the best first. This you have to do a practice. Because the kind of questions now in UPSC asked, in partly I am the culprit. We have already fixed the space in which you have to give to answer. Before I was chairman, this was not there. Now question is written in the top, answer is to be written. You have shown the sample copy to them. That means each question has a limit. So there might be 20 points, but limit would allow you only few points. That means you can write precisely. A bureaucrat does not like history and geography and romantic story. It is a decision in a short time. So the exam itself has now been designed for you that you give the best. And I also can give you a story why I came to this conclusion. In one of the essay, candidate wrote 30 pages and he got 0. Lots of people ask me, Chairman, UPSC does not look at any copy, nor he look at question papers. He is not aware. There was so much of pressure from the top of the president asking, kindly have a look once. And believe me, I was convinced that he even didn't deserve 0. So the way you write is more important. There has to be content, there has to be clarity, there has to be systematic way of doing it. Otherwise, you don't get marks. There is no requirement by UPSC. People keep on asking, what does UPSC look in? What UPSC would look? They like to look at the best answer. And told clarity. I already told you difficulty of a teacher. Since I've been a professor myself, I know how difficult it is when you check 30 copies. So what will happen? After 2 copies, you will look at key points in the question. If those key points are there, he'll give you marks, or they will not give you marks. It's simple as that. नहीं आपको लगता है? नहीं है तो कभी अपने younger brother sister की copy check करके देखिए. Then you realize. So things are simple. You pretend you don't know. You pretend because you don't work hard. And since you opted to come to a service where this competition is like this, where is an option with you? There is no option. So main exam, read from good books, use data from the sources which are authentic, never from the media. Don't quote newspapers. You might read it, double check it, look at the figures. Only authentic sources must be utilized. Data is important to build up your case. So it's not saying if in the class, if I try to judge, the girls here are 60% have a height of 4.5 inches. If that's my thesis, I should be able to prove it. So that's why data is so important. So don't shy away from data. Data is to be correct, sources to be correct, which can be quoted without any difficulty. So book which is used in Andhra must also be accepted to Delhi University boy in girls. So data must be corrected. Answer must be clear to the point given in the paragraph written. Don't. So this practice has to go on and on. And there's no shortcut. Qualifier exams must be cleared first. One of the enemy is the language. For example, if you take English and Telugu, many of you have not written Telugu for quite a long time. How many of you regularly write Telugu? But you have to qualify exam. You know everything. So the first thing is, do essay regularly. Essay has to be done regularly. 1 essay per week.